Most people think they can spot a rich person from across a room, a certain car, a certain watch, a certain way of walking into a space like they own it. But some of the wealthiest people alive look completely, deliberately ordinary. That's not an accident. It's a strategy, built quietly over years. And once you know what to look for, you'll start noticing it everywhere around you, hiding in plain sight. Here are 6 signs someone is quietly sitting on real wealth, why they choose to hide it, and what it actually protects them from in the long run. Sign number 1. They drive an old, unremarkable car. Not a beat-up wreck, just something plain, paid off, and completely forgettable, while their bank account tells a very different story entirely. A flashy car draws attention fast, and attention brings requests for loans, jealous coworkers, and strangers who suddenly want to be friends. A plain, paid-off sedan quietly solves every single one of those problems at once. Some of the most successful investors in the world are known for driving modest cars for decades, long after they could afford almost anything on the market, simply because the car was never actually the point. The less a car says about you, the less anyone assumes about your finances. And in a world obsessed with status, being underestimated turns out to be a surprisingly powerful advantage. Sign number 2. Their home looks completely ordinary from the outside. Same size as the neighbors, same plain landscaping, nothing that would make a stranger slow down and look twice while driving past. Many quiet millionaires deliberately choose modest, unremarkable neighborhoods on purpose. Lower property taxes, less scrutiny from strangers, and neighbors who have absolutely no idea what's actually sitting inside their bank accounts. From the street, it looks like any other house on the block. No gates, no columns, no obvious upgrades. Just a quiet driveway and a mortgage that was paid off years earlier than anyone assumes. The real wealth is hiding in the details nobody can see from the sidewalk. The fully funded retirement account, the paid-off mortgage, and the investment portfolio quietly compounding in the background every single month. Sign number 3. They almost never wear visible logos or flashy brands. No giant designer labels, no obvious price tags, just simple, well-made clothing that doesn't announce a single thing to anyone around them. Wearing your wealth openly invites comparison, and comparison invites resentment fast. The truly wealthy often prefer to feel secure privately rather than impressive publicly, and that trade-off is a very deliberate, calculated choice. Picture someone in a plain t-shirt and worn sneakers at the grocery store, completely unremarkable to everyone around them, while quietly holding more in assets than most people will ever see in an entire lifetime. It's the exact opposite of what most people expect from wealth. Quiet fabrics, plain colors, nothing that would catch someone's eye at a coffee shop or make a stranger look twice on the street. Sign number 4. They almost never talk about money, and they definitely don't post about it anywhere online. No flexing, no vague humble brags, no hints casually dropped into an ordinary conversation with friends. Talking openly about money invites people to ask for it, judge it, or quietly resent it over time. Silence protects relationships, and it protects them from becoming an easy target for scams and constant requests. At a dinner with friends, they'll talk about almost anything else in the world before money ever comes up, and if it does, they'll steer the conversation somewhere else almost without anyone noticing at all. The truly wealthy understand something simple that most people never learn. Money speaks quietly on its own, so they never feel the need to raise their voice about it in any room. Sign number 5. Their assets are rarely, if ever, held in their own name. Homes, vehicles, and businesses are often registered under LLCs, trusts, or holding companies that don't obviously trace back to them. This isn't about hiding anything illegal. It's almost always about privacy and legal protection. Public records become far less revealing this way, and lawsuits become much harder to aim directly at one single person. If you search their name in public property or business records, you'd likely find almost nothing that hints at what they actually own, because on paper, very little of it technically belongs to them. A good lawyer or accountant becomes part of the quiet architecture of real wealth, working behind the scenes so nothing important ever needs to sit directly in one exposed, searchable name. Sign number 6. They rarely reveal their real net worth, even to close friends or family members. Financial decisions happen quietly, often through an advisor, with almost no visible paper trail left behind. Full transparency about money can quietly damage even close relationships over time. Sudden favors get expected, inheritance conversations turn tense, and friendships can shift the moment real numbers finally come into view. Even a sibling or a lifelong best friend might have no real idea what someone is actually worth because that number was never once mentioned across years and years of ordinary, everyday conversation. So they simply keep that number private, sometimes even from the people closest to them, and let their day-to-day lifestyle stay exactly, deliberately the same year after year. Notice the pattern running quietly through all 6 signs. It was never about hiding shame. It was always about avoiding unnecessary attention, because attention invites requests, comparison, and risk that quiet wealth simply doesn't need. That's the real secret hiding in plain sight. True wealth doesn't need an audience, it doesn't need applause, and it definitely doesn't need to prove a single thing to a stranger passing by. This matters because visible wealth is fragile in ways invisible wealth simply isn't. The flashier the display, the easier a target it becomes for lawsuits, scams, and people looking for an easy shortcut. So the next time someone looks unremarkable, drives something forgettable, and never once brings up money, pause for a second. That quiet, ordinary life might be the loudest sign of real wealth you'll ever see. You don't need to look rich to actually be rich. Sometimes the quietest life is hiding the loudest bank account. So tell me, which one of these 6 signs surprised you the most?